you don't want to be the one caught holding a grenade with the pin out. Way back in 2017 began my kind of obsession with S classes. As of right now, I own like 4 of them. It's maybe a good thing, maybe a bad thing. Most people, including my family, will tell me it's a bad thing, but you know, I love them to death. I think they're really nice driving cars, and depreciation is your friend with these things. I mean, the fact that you can buy not even a 10-year-old S Class and get it for less than 50% of its MSRP, it's pretty amazing because it's still a very expensive car, but getting it for a lot less. I have a lot of the 90s, like the W140 S Classes. I think I have 3 of them. The cars I have right now, I have the S65, I have my silver S320, W140, it's a 99. I have another 99 that's an S320, which I bought more so on impulse than anything else. It was a good deal at the time, really didn't need it, but it looked good, I wanted it, it was black. And then I also have a 97 S600, which I'm actually having right now done custom-made equal-length headers to make it sound like a Pagani Zonda. Brilliant exhaust, F-Spot is like the OG of that of all time, but I always, ever since I first saw that original video way back when, I thought to myself, and there were even Jalopnik articles of people saying you could, like a shop could do this, and on Savage Garage we'll talk about like why it actually has taken as long as it has. It's been 3 or 4 months, but there's a lot that goes into making those headers, I'll put it that way. But it's an exciting project. I love the cars to death. They're built well, or at least the 90s ones are. The early 2000s one, I mean, my S65 is everything I expected it to be and more, including the bad things, but the bad things I love. Like the interior is kind of dated looking in the styling, but I will say in person when you drive it, it's such a cool trip back in time. And the performance is ridiculous. Obviously, I mean, it's such a fast car. My obsession with these cars began, it was back in 2017 summer. I had just started working for Rob Ferretti producing his videos. Brand manager was my title. I remember one of the earlier things we shot was, it was a S65 black car, and the guy emailed Ferretti saying, I bought this thing for, it was $3,900 or $2,900, but it was so far below the original MSRP, it didn't make sense. Prior to going here, I couldn't tell you what any of the designations on the Mercedes, like ML 350 SL, like I didn't know what any of those meant. My dad and I, like, we would joke about at the time that, like, the newer the car, like the more letters and numbers they would put on it just to make them sound new. Like, I never knew what any of them meant. Now I think that of all cars, they probably have some of the most logical names, but you live and you learn. But that car, when we went to see it, it was collapsed on its ABC suspension, but the body was straight. The body was straight, the interior was clean. There were a couple things that didn't work. I just remember hearing in the first startup, the cold starts on those things, the brrr, brrr, it's got that loud, just high idle. And it sounded so aggressive, so exotic, and just different. When I saw that, and then I found out you could buy other cars for that cheap, that sent me down a bad rabbit hole. A very bad one. And I ended up, my first S Class that I bought was the silver one that I still daily to this day when I'm home in Maryland seeing family. I bought it for $2,600, 137,000 miles. It was very obvious it just came from an auction. The car's been great. I mean, despite what everyone has told me about the car, it's been incredibly reliable, and the value is so good. I mean, to have a car that arguably drives better than a large percentage of cars that are made today, like brand new cars that are, like Econo boxes, new Corollas, new whatever. I mean, the fact that that car drives as well as it does, and that you can get one for sub $3,000. Gold Rush 2020, there were a bunch of cars that the Savage Garage team was taking. The total number was the Pagani, the Koenigsegg, the SVJ, the G-Wagon, my Murcielago, and then my S600. But unfortunately, not only was my S600 not being done having the new headers put on it, the Murcielago didn't get done in time because it's a Murcielago. I still wanted to bring a car on Gold Rush because at the time, at the moment I didn't have one, and I was very excited to drive. The only thing that made sense was I spend too much time looking at cars, like everyone here, who watches VINwiki, I'm sure that at this point they know about Auto Tempest. Auto Tempest was the reason that I found this car, And this S65 that I found was in New York. It was a one-owner car, dealer service its entire life, just had a new ABC pump suspension thing put in. It was the right car. It was a cool color too, Flint gray. They only made like 47 or 50 apparently in that color, I later found out. '06, nice car, really, with 103,000 miles. The guy wanted, I think it was 19 grand or 20 grand, whatever it was. I offered him 17 and he said yes. Because the Murcielago wasn't done, instead of spending that money on that, I said, let's get the S65 and have a car for Gold Rush. And also, consequently, Savage Rally, because that was 3 days after Gold Rush, which you want to talk about a logistical nightmare, getting the cars from the Midwest all the way back down to Miami for the start of it. But we got it done. The S65, I had lots of people tell me that they're looking forward to seeing it. Mutual friend Arnie, when he went on Gold Rush, he was looking at it, he's like, oh, that's such a cool car, great value for the money. And he had the best analogy I've ever heard for that car. You don't want to be the one caught holding a grenade with the pin out. My original thought with that car was just I was going to, buy it, use it for the last 2 rallies, Gold Rush and Savage Rally, and just unload it. Before I have to worry about any of the problems that I knew would, inevitably come. I like it too much. I don't want to get rid of it because it's just such a good value. Like every other Mercedes I own, I'm having trouble getting rid of it. That car is eventually going to need its first service, but I figured, buying this car on Gold Rush, it'll kind of fit in with everything else there, even though it's a little older. It gives me gumball vibes, but it was so cool to see the car stickered up and we were excited to go on it. And it had no issue at all besides it needed a power steering pump really bad. It just whined a bunch, but if you turn the music up, you didn't hear it. Yeah, no, it kept up with everything. So much to a point where Randy was intentionally trying to not race me with the RS6. He'll deny it. In fact, he's probably watching this right now and saying, no, that's not true, but I know it was true. He didn't want to race the car because I think he knew it was going to lose. Now that he has the tune on the car with MTM, the RS6 that he's got it's a monster. It's amazing what that V8 twin turbo can do. The S65, I wanted to race everything on Gold Rush. The first day when driving it, I was a little bit overzealous and I tried to flash tune the car from a tuning company sent their little OBD2 dongle and said, just press these buttons and it goes faster. And instead it ended up on the back of a tow truck because it bricked the ECU. I had the car shipped to Gintani. They went through the whole ECU and they spent 10 hours reprogramming the thing. Some people thought that it was very, you just plug it into a computer, press a few buttons, and reflash the stock tune. There was, nothing stored in the original ECU, none of the files. I'm not a tuner, I don't know the specifics, but he sent me some photos of that ECU open, and thankfully, he tuned a bunch of those cars in the past, Alex at Gintani, and he put the whole thing back together with different software stuff. After that, car ran flawlessly the whole time, and it was faster too. He put a tune on it where it made, I think it was about 670 horsepower and 840 pound-feet of torque. So just an utter, unbelievable monster. And it kept up with everything, no problem. And it cooled, heated, and massaged my ass all at the same time. You can turn both of those on in that car. Interesting, icy hot effect. It was good. That car was great. And then it, got on a truck, came back to Miami, did Savage Rally too. And then I ran from the cops in it. And that's a completely different story for another VINwiki episode.
This time of year, I know a lot of us are trying to clean out our garages and maybe get rid of some things that we probably don't need. So if there's an extra set of wheels and tires sitting over in the corner, or an exhaust that you forgot to install, or a part you bought 2 of and forgot about that too, the best place to sell them is on ModFind. And likewise, if you're trying to find a part, new, used, aftermarket OEM for your car, truck, project, whatever, the best place to shop for those is also on ModFind. ModFind is a free app that you can download in the Android or iOS store, and that will allow you to buy, sell, transact, whatever you want to do, a car, a part, a tool, anything related to the automotive hobby. It also allows you to create a listing and then add a kickback to incentivize your followers to share it with their followers. They make it very easy to share to all the major social platforms, and we'd like to thank them for their support of VINwiki this month. Please go download their app today, buy, sell your parts. A few of mine are already listed there, and it's a great platform, and I cannot wait to see where they go from here.